Hey guys, it's Tim and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the, 15th of December 2019 to talk about everything that went down tonight at TLC. TLC, I thought, had its ups and had its pretty downs. It was good, then it had to me at least, it was good. And then it had kind of like a lull in the middle. And then the main event brought it back up. But that's just my opinion. If I had to say overall, did I like or did I not like the show? I'd say I liked it. There were some really good matches tonight that really did, interest me. But then there was some stuff where I'm just talking to my buddy and I'm like, I'm bored. What is this? So, and we'll get into all of that. But before we do, of course, as always, we want to see who's here with us in the live chat as we let some more of you guys file in. Chris McDonough has a question. She says, why is everyone saying TLC is the last pay-per-view of this year? Because it is. It is December 15th. There is not another pay-per-view till January 26th, 2020. That is why TLC is the last pay-per-view, not only of the year. TLC tonight was the last pay-per-view of the entire decade. Think about that one, ladies and gentlemen. TLC 2019 was the final pay-per-view of the entire decade. That's just something to ponder your thoughts on here tonight. Well, let's see who else we've got here with us. We've also got Dontrell Bailey, Henry McKenna Carvalho, Nelson, Chris Gomez. We have, as we scroll here, God Ricky, Jason Dalton. Jason, you got your badge back. I wonder what happened. Let me know. Was it a logistical issue? Did it just disappear one day? Or was it, like I assumed, maybe a payment issue? I don't know. Let me know. Good to see that you got your badge back. If anybody else wants to be like Jason Dalton, have a cool little badge next to your name, have your name in green, and be able to use emojis, you can do so by hitting that join button right down there where it says, next to where it says subscribe. In joining and becoming a PWUnlimited member, you will get some perks. Like I said, you'll get a badge next to your name in the live chat and in comments. Your name will be green. You can use special emojis, and you will get early access to some content that we do put up here periodically, like a video coming out tomorrow, which will be the top 10 tag teams of the last decade. That video will go up tomorrow for member and Patreon subscribers, and it'll be ad-free. Or you can wait till next Friday where you will get it here on YouTube, but there will be ads associated with that video. So again, if you want to be like Jason Dalton, go over and hit that join button down there where it says subscribe and become a member of the PWUnlimited YouTube channel. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. It directly supports us here and keeps us going. We've also got a legendary Howard. Jason says, I don't know if you changed companies, but I didn't get a notification when they were canceling my subscription. It has nothing to do with me. It's all through YouTube, Jason. So you're saying, I don't know if you changed companies. That's all through YouTube. But anyways, you guys are here for the meat and potatoes of things. You're here to hear about TLC 2019. Took place from the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where it was a squelching. And I say squelching, yeah, you might think, well, it wasn't hot there. I say squelching because freezer burn. 5 degrees in Minneapolis before the show went live. It's going to be negative 5 degrees overnight. Crazy. Show, like I said, took place from the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And we did get a pre-show match. That was a rematch from last week's Monday Night Raw. It was Humberto Carrillo taking on Andrade. I feel like the match was good. I think the match from last Monday, it was about the same length, which surprised me. But overall, I thought this match was really good. There were 2 quick breaks in the first 5 minutes to plug the pay-per-view that you're watching. But I get that. People get so people get mad when they're watching the pre-show on the WWE Network and they have a commercial that says, order the WWE Network now to watch the main card of TLC. And people go, well, I'm already watching on the network. Yeah, but some people are watching on Facebook, some people are watching on YouTube, and some people are watching on Twitter. So they're not watching on the network. So you got to remind them, hey, go to the network. So Andrade was cut somewhere above, I think it's his left eye. I didn't write which one. And I'm not sure exactly when that happened, but it seemed early on. The referee tried to check on him, but Andrade pushed him off, actually. The referee eventually did check on him later in the match. At one point, Vic Joseph kept going on about the welts forming on Andrade's body. There was a spot where Andrade did a double foot stomp off the top of the ring post with Carrillo hanging from the ropes outside the ring. And I think Carrillo hung there just a little bit too long to make it look a little unrealistic. It did get a "This is awesome" chant from the live crowd, though. So, hey, I guess to each their own. Carrillo then did an inverted Frankensteiner off the top rope. That led to his finish, hitting a moonsault for the victory. Shocked. I'm shocked that Humberto won because I assumed 50-50. Humberto won on Monday, so, okay, Andrade's got to win tonight. After the match, they teased more tension between Andrade and Zelina Vega. Zelina tried to check on him after the loss, see if he was okay, and he basically brushed her off and left. I so hope that they don't break these two up. They're a perfect act, and my fear is if they break them up, they ain't going to do anything with Zelina. I can see it now. They're not going to do anything with her as a wrestler. So, I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Maybe they can pair her with her husband, Aleister Black. Daniel Price in the comment goes, good for Carrillo, but they either need to stop jobbing Almas out or release him. They ain't releasing him. Trust me, brother. That ain't going to happen. He ain't getting a release anytime soon. If his contract's not up, he ain't going nowhere. So, at one point during the pre-show, I wanted to bring this up because that was funny. Booker called The Miz a badass Ryan Seacrest when talking about The Miz versus Bray Wyatt later in the night. A badass Ryan Seacrest. The fuck? Booker T. I don't even know. Booker T out here just saying random things. Plugging his beard oils sponsorship, I guess. Booker's a character, and I liked Booker was like shilling his beard oil sponsor or whatever, and he says something, and Coach goes, "Oh yeah, Buck, you living the good life with that Fox money, huh?" Booker goes, "Hey, to each their own." So they move on to the main card where the show did kick off with a 19-minute ladder match. Kofi Kingston and Big E of the New Day defending against Scott Dawson and Dash Wilden of the Revival, the SmackDown tag titles, that is, in a ladder match. This match was awesome. I loved it. I loved this match. The Revival were beating down the New Day early and tried to whip Kingston into the side of the ring. However, Kingston leapt through the bottom ropes and attempted a dive. But as he did, he dropped a ladder. They dropped a ladder on him repeatedly, which looked painful. They tried to go on the attack again with the ladder, but Kofi leaped over it and was able to dive this time, driving the ladder into both men. Big E then won a tug of war with a ladder. Both men used it as a weapon. Excuse me. Both men used it as a weapon. Big E missed an apron dive and crashed on the ladder. Revival drove the ladder into Big E's groin, then drop kicked it into his groin. Now, I missed a spot here. There was a spot when Big E was climbing up on the ladder, and as he was doing so, he was pulled off the ladder. His leg got caught in between one of the rungs. I thought he damaged his knee, but as we saw going through, he was fine. Scary looking spot. Could have been a lot worse than it was. At one point, Kingston used a ladder on the Revival. Big E put Scott Dawson in a stretch muffler. Then Kingston drove a ladder into the midsection, his midsection. Revival tried to push the ladder over as Kingston climbed it, but he bounced off the top and hit Dawson with a tornado DDT, then took out Dash Wilder with a Trouble in Paradise. The crowd popped big for that. Kingston then almost lost his balance, but still managed to pull everything off. The Revival managed to catch Kingston with a shatter machine at one point as he came off of a ladder. Big E then took out Wilder with a big splash through the rope, from the ropes to the floor. Big E set up a ladder, but the Revival fought him off. Dawson then suplexed him onto the ladder barely. So the ladder is bridged between one ladder in the middle of the ring and the turnbuckle. And with that, Big E slams Scott Dawson face first on it. He slams him face first, and he climbs to the top rope, but very slowly. Not sure what Big E was thinking. Maybe he was going to splash on him or something, but Dash Wilder cuts him off. Dawson's laying on the ladder. Finally, Big E gets cut off. Dawson gets up, suplexes Big E off the top rope, but Big E barely hits the ladder. Big E's shoulder clips it. Dawson takes just a complete back bump on the ladder. Ladder starts to bow. They go after Big E some more. Finally laying him out on the ladder. Wilder goes to the top rope, splashes him. Ladder completely right in half. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen Dash Wilder fly off the top before, especially crashing somebody through a ladder. Nice. I liked it. So the Big E began to climb up the ladder, one on each side. There was a second ladder set up as well, and Kofi out of nowhere just jumped right on the ladder, leapt off the ropes, springboard. Kofi's great. They fought up there for a while until finally Big E grabbed Wilder and gave him a big ending off of the ladder. Dawson had reached the belts, but Kingston drove the belt into his face instead, and he fell off the ladder. You can tell Scott Dawson's never taken a bump off a ladder before. The way he kind of hesitated, looked back to where he was going to land on another ladder, and then kind of just jumped. Hey, to each their own. It's the first time he's probably ever done it. It's all good. It's all good. Kofi Kingston then climbs up, grabs the belts, and retains the SmackDown Tag Team Championships in a hell of a ladder match. We do have some super chats to read here first. Luke Might says, hey, Tim, when will Johnny Gargano return to NXT? Nobody knows. Johnny Gargano is dealing with some sort of a neck injury, and he's listed as day-to-day, but nobody knows when, I don't want to say when and if, but when he'll be able to return to the ring. Jerry Lopez with a super chat donation. He says Daniel Bryan came back to pro wrestling. That he did. American Dragon. And I'm going to talk about the American Dragon when we get to it. Excuse me. So, Baron Corbin was interviewed in the back by Caleb Braxton. He said he wasn't worried about Roman Reigns and would show him who his master really was. They recapped Carrillo's win over Andrade on the pre-show. Jerry Lawler was very impressed with Carrillo's moonsault. I think Carrillo has one of the best moonsaults in all of pro wrestling. They also speculated on the dissension between Andrade and Vega. Steve Emblem says, are the text lines open for tonight? Yes, they are. If you would like to text into the show and let us know what you thought of tonight's WWE TLC pay-per-view, you can do so at 510-906-1341. We will be reading your text messages periodically through the recap here. Then once we're done recapping TLC, we'll take some calls. I want to hear from you guys. So again, you can text in right now to 510-906-1341. Then once we are done recapping TLC, you can use that same phone number to call in. So going forward, we do have Aleister Black versus Buddy Murphy in a 13.5-minute match. Black was in control until Murphy blocked a soccer kick and drove him into the post and the steel steps. Black came up bleeding from the nose. Not sure if he actually broke his nose or not, but it was bad. It was enough blood to make you think that this could have been a real broken nose. Vic Joseph didn't mention the blood. Jerry Lawler did. Murphy grabbed Black's vest and was about to put it on, but chucked it at Black instead. Black ducked, and the vest might have hit Lawler. Not 100% sure as they were fighting at ringside. Joseph and Samoa Joe just kept talking about Black's jaw being hurt, and Lawler was particularly screaming at them that this man may have a broken nose. Somebody was probably telling them not to mention it, and Lawler was like, I don't care, this guy's bleeding everywhere. Oh, I don't want to say bleeding everywhere, but it was very obvious that he was busted. That nose may have been busted. Black came back with strikes, and then a springboard moonsault for a 2. They fought on the apron, but Black caught him with another springboard moonsault, this time to the outside. Black tossed him back in the ring and hit a knee strike for a 2. Murphy tied up Black in the ropes and hit 4 consecutive super kicks, followed by a sit-out powerbomb for a near fall. Murphy got the better of the strike exchange and hit a brainbuster for a 2. They traded strikes again, and Black nailed him with a black mass to pick up the victory. I thought this match was just phenomenal. It's 2 guys going out there and wanting to prove themselves. Wanting to prove that they deserve to be here on Raw, they deserve to be on the main roster, and they deserve maybe better than what they've been given so far. Both men were undefeated going into this match. Now, technically, Buddy Murphy can say, I'm undefeated on Raw, but he can no longer say, I've been undefeated since coming to Raw. Aleister Black, still undefeated since coming to Raw. Let's read some of these text messages here really quick before we get going. Got a couple of them. This person here says, Danny Bryan returning. Do you see him facing The Fiend at Royal Rumble? Yes. This person says, you think the Viking Raiders, or no, the AOP will beat Viking Raiders for the tag titles and Seth the United States title, and who do you think will beat New Day for the tag titles? So, I don't see Seth going for the U.S. title ever. No, that's out of the question. AOP, I think eventually they will take the tag titles from the Viking Raiders. They're building the Viking Raiders up. They've beaten everybody. So, well, actually, yeah, they've beaten Gallows and Anderson. They've beaten and lost to Gallows and Anderson. Anyways, I think AOP takes the titles from them. Seth, no chance he's going for the U.S. title. That's no. And who takes the titles off the New Day? I'm not 100% sure. Person says, did you watch the Steve Austin show with Goldberg? And not yet. I saw the first 10 minutes, but I was too busy getting the stream ready. So I actually wasn't really paying attention and just eventually turned it off. I will watch it once I am done here, though. Person says, they should have had more SmackDown titles. The women's title, they should have let Bayley defend it against Lacey Evans. That match is being pushed off till Royal Rumble. I don't know why, but it is. This person here says 2 questions. Who can you see as Sheamus' first opponent back? Like I said the other day, probably somebody. You put him in a feud that he can just easily win. I'm gonna go Apollo Crews. There's says, is Elias back to babyface or still a heel? I think he's both. Whatever they need him for that week, he's going to play. And this last text message before we do move on says, do you think Shayna Baszler might lose the NXT Women's Championship to Rhea Ripley, and then after that, Shayna goes to Monday Night Raw and feuds with Becky Lynch? That's exactly what I think is going to happen to a T. Speaking about Monday Night Raw and championships, we have the Raw Tag Team titles on the line in an open challenge. And this was all about sponsorships, unfortunately. So the Viking Raiders issued an open challenge, and out came Gallows and Anderson of the OC. Anderson said they were the best tag team in the world, and they had a trophy to prove it. He also said that this is not just about the titles. Also, it could be about you guys avenging your loss, your only loss, to us. Then, 4 fans watched from ringside with a table full of KFC. Ivar at one point did a handspring elbow to both guys. He missed, but they sold it anyways. Viking Raiders gave Anderson a Viking experience, but Gallows broke up the cover. The OC tossed Eric over the barricade. Then Ivar wiped them out with a dive as the referee counted to 10. The match ends in a double countout. Crowd booed the finish. They hated it. I hated it. Anderson then grabbed the KFC branded table. Crowd chanted for KFC. Eric tossed some food off the table, which was booed. Then he put Anderson through the table, which was lame. And the crowd did not even pop for the table spot. Filler sponsor segment. Whoopee! In the back, The Miz let Caleb Braxton know that his family was safe, and he has moved them to an undisclosed location. Like, really? Miz called Bray Wyatt a monster, maybe even more so than The Fiend. Miz said Wyatt violated the sanctity of his home, and this was the most important and personal match of his life. He wasn't just fighting as The Miz tonight. He was fighting as a man protecting his family. So we move on to a 22-minute match between Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns. Michael Cole said Corbin was alone because Reigns took out both Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. No mention of Roode's suspension, though, still. Which I'd never assumed they would announce that on TV. They announced it on WWE.com, but that's as far as they're going to go. So the match started outside the ring after Corbin sent his lackeys that carried him down the ring back to the locker room area, I guess. This was after he sicked him on Reigns, though. Reigns fought them off easily, and then Corbin sent him away. Basically, sent him through the crowd. Anyways. When they eventually entered the ring to start this match, Corbin caught him with a deep 6 for a 2. After a while, Corbin drove a ladder into Reigns' protected midsection, then lightly dropped it over his back. Corbin hit Reigns a few times with a chair, then placed it in the corner. Reigns came back with a clothesline, leaping clothesline, 10 clotheslines in the corner, and a big boot. The crowd chanted for Roman here. Corbin avoided a Superman punch and a clothesline, then followed it up with a chokeslam backbreaker. Corbin mocked Reigns. Then Reigns chucked him into the chair in the corner and followed it up with a Superman punch for a near fall. Crowd chanted for tables at this point. Reigns set up a table at ringside. Then Corbin hit him in the face with a can of dog food. Cole freaked out like he had hit him with a goddamn brick. Like a dog food is getting hit with a can of dog food is worse than getting hit with a damn steel chair to Michael Cole. Corbin then chokeslammed Reigns through the table. Got a near fall. Table exploded. Corbin then set up the announce tables as Reigns grabbed him and gave him a Samoan drop through the announce table. So Corbin pulls everything off of 2 announce tables, puts Roman on one, goes to pick him up like he's going to powerbomb him from one through the other. Roman herks him up, Samoan drop, they both fly through it. And the first thing Michael Cole goes is, Corbin may have fractured a rib. Reigns possibly too. No. So both men slowly get to their feet. Roman gets to his feet by himself. Corbin does it using the barricade, and he's just leaning on the barricade. And so he's leaning on the barricade, and Roman notices this. And Roman's like, I've got an idea, but I have to walk all the way around the ring for it. So Roman eventually makes his way all the way around the ring. Then he goes to run at Corbin. His plan was to spear Corbin through the barricade into the timekeeper's area. As Roman does so, he is met with stupid Michael Cole. He is met with what Michael Cole calls a Superman kick. Basically, Dolph Ziggler showed up out of nowhere, and at the last second before Reigns went for the spear, he gets super kicked by Dolph Ziggler. And Michael Cole says, and I quote, Ziggler met Reigns with a Superman kick. He said it 3 more times. Ziggler with a Superman kick. I hope that doesn't become a regular thing. Ziggler now does the Superman kick. Just goddamn Michael Cole. Anyways, I said Ziggler appeared out of nowhere. They contemplated maybe he came from under the ring. Well, you would have noticed. Did he? Fucking Corey Graves is like, wait, did he come from under the ring? I don't know. Did you see somebody scamper out from under the ring, buddy? Would have been right in front of you. We didn't because the cameras were on Roman. Anyways, I digress. Ziggler helped Corbin up. And then they just started going crazy, throwing people around, beating up stagehands and whatnot. I didn't know what this was all. I think Ziggler was yelling, "Listen to your king" at one point. They were out to dump dog food on one of the guys, but Reigns saved him with a drive-by, taking out both men. Corbin's lackeys then all ran down, and they all did the exact same thing. So they run down the ramp and around the ring to Roman, who's got a kendo stick. And as Roman goes to hit them, each man does the same thing. They leap slightly off the ground, throw their hands up in the air, their mouth and their eyes go completely pop off as wide as you can, and then as soon as they get hit with the kendo stick, their hands come back down, grab their gut, and they basically take a front roll. All like 5 to 7 guys, however many it was, did this exact same thing every single time. Leap, hands up, wise-eyed open, grab your gut, roll. Every single goddamn time. And Roman took them all out with the kendo stick. Ziggler, so finally, they get back into the ring. It's Corbin and Roman. Roman's got Corbin down, ready to pounce, ready to win this match, go for the spear. And as he does, Dolph Ziggler literally just throws a chair right at his face. I don't know if Roman was ready for it or not, but he barely got his hands up in time. Because that chair, not only was the chair coming at him, but the chair wasn't even fully closed. Corey Graves, or Cole, screamed about how unfair this is with no rules. How all these people, because keep in mind, I forgot to mention Revival even ran down to help. And so Cole is yelling how this is not fair. Corey Graves explains, this is what Reigns signed up for. He signed the contract. He agreed to this match. He knew what could have happened to him. And for once, I'm agreeing with Corey Graves. He's not wrong. The Revival then gave Reigns a shattered machine. Corbin then gave him an ended days on the chair and pinned him. King Corbin, with his guys, with his boys, with his court, I guess you can call it, picked up the victory. This match was not that good at all. There was just a lot of too much going on. Like at points in the match, I was like, okay, this is all right. But then why? I get the Dolph coming out there. I get that. That makes sense. Okay, Dolph comes out to help. Cool. But then why do you have to have all these quote-unquote security guys come out there for what? Just to get one kendo stick shot in on each? Then the Revival. What are we doing with the Revival? They're just fucking lackeys? First they were Shane McMahon's lackeys earlier in the year. Now they're Corbin's fucking lackeys. The Revival need better than this. They've got 4 fucking months left on their contract, and these guys are, you think they want to stay? To be lackeys? When they can go somewhere else and be, as they like to say, top guys? Fuck no, they want to stay here. I mean, I don't know 100%, but I have heard that they've been offered multiple contracts in 2019 and said, nah, thank ya, to each and every one. So, contracts expire roughly after WrestleMania next April. We'll see what happens. So let me get another boring-ass fucking match. Yeah, I hated this one even worse, or even more. It was Bray Wyatt against The Miz. And I got to say, So Bray Wyatt is supposed to be a mortal, a human, a man. The Fiend is the demon, the monster, the unbeatable, whatever you want to call him, scary guy. So it makes sense that you do stuff to him and it doesn't affect him. You hit him with moves, your big moves, and he's just like, yeah, whatever. But you would think at least Bray Wyatt would show a little bit of weakness as a human being. No. He's just the Fiend without the red light and the mask. Like 100% wrestled a Fiend match. So why the fuck wasn't this a Fiend match? Why wasn't it the Fiend? I kind of get why it wasn't the Fiend against The Miz and had to be Bray Wyatt, because Bray Wyatt can get attacked and slightly beat up by Daniel Bryan, but the Fiend can't, I guess. Dumb as fuck. I'm kind of over this already. Just it either always needs to be Bray Wyatt wrestling or it always needs to be the Fiend. It needs to be defined. Because if you're Bray Wyatt, who we're supposed to believe, like I know I'm beating a dead horse here, we're supposed to believe is just a guy that's got a split personality, that's got, as he likes to say, a friend that's a little out there. Okay. So they should wrestle separate. They should wrestle different. Not the goddamn same. So Wyatt came out to Firefly Funhouse music and graphics. He wore a sweater and jeans and the Universal title around his waist. He came out all happy, jumped on the announce table, waved at the fans, saying thank you for having him and all that kind of jazz. It's funny, when he jumped up on the announce table, Cole didn't know what to think, so he jumped out of his chair. And so Bray gets in the ring, and he poses for the fans once again. Crowd starts chanting, "Yowie Wowie," and Bray's hamming this up. Bell finally rings. Miz immediately caught Wyatt with a boot and then followed with knees in the corner. Wyatt tried to reason with him at first, saying, "Oh, please, Miz, take it easy on me. Take it easy on me. I didn't do it." And Miz attacks him with knees and kicks. Wyatt finally tried some offense, but Miz fought him off and hit jogging knees in the corner. Wyatt grabbed him by the throat, basically, and set him up for Sister Abigail, but Miz slipped out and hit a skull-crushing finale, but didn't go for the cover, and Wyatt started laughing. Miz goes to ram Wyatt's face into the mat multiple times, and every time he lifts Wyatt's face back up, he's laughing even more. The announcers are like, pain doesn't work on this. Like, this guy does not know pain. Aggression, moves, anything does not work on this guy, is what they kept saying on commentary. Miz tries a submission. The crowd fell asleep. At this point, the crowd did not make basically another noise until Bryan appeared. Wyatt's laughing and laughing as Miz applied the hold and encouraged him, "Do it more. I want more." Fuck. Wyatt rolled out of the ring and drove his own shoulder against the barricade. They speculated that when Miz had him in that shoulder lock, he may have dislocated the shoulder of Bray Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt, who doesn't feel pain, they had to tell us that a bunch of fucking times, popped his own shoulder back in. You want to know who popped his own fucking shoulder back in? Finn Balor, SummerSlam 2016. That was real. So Wyatt dodged a charge and gave Miz a Sister Abigail off the barricade. Miz barely beat the 10 count. Wyatt gave him another Sister Abigail in the ring and pinned him. Again, the crowd is asleep, not making a peep. You would have heard the crickets from down the road. So after the match, the Fiend appears on the screen. Bray gets all kinds of excited and happy. The fans, lightly, you can maybe hear a subsection of like 15, 20 guys. Let him in, let him in, let him in. Wyatt heard him, though, because he looks right at the screen and goes, "Okay, I'll do it." Wyatt grabs the mallet from under the ring. And both Michael Cole and Corey Graves act like we've never, ever, ever, ever seen this mallet before. They're like, "Whoa, what is that?" I'm like, Did you not see TLC? Or, oh, maybe they couldn't tell either with that damn red light having to look through the cage like we did. Maybe they didn't notice it at all. Or as well. But we've seen that sledgehammer multiple times before. So it kind of made them look like imbeciles and idiots, not knowing what that sledgehammer was. So he's got the sledgehammer. And he comes into the ring with it. And before he can do anything, we see it all coming. The lights begin to go out. Wyatt thought the Fiend was coming. He said, he's coming, he's coming. But when he turned around, there's a man, a hooded man in a sweater. The man gave Wyatt a running knee and revealed that it was Daniel Bryan, beardless, basically, and a buzz cut. He basically looked like Ring of Honor Daniel Bryan. And everyone goes, the American Dragon's back. The American Dragon's back. Do you guys not remember that the American Dragon was more of a heel than a babyface? Daniel Bryan, before coming to WWE, predominantly worked as a heel. So everyone's like, the American Dragon. Yeah, you could say he looks like that character, but he's a babyface. He did the yes chant. The American Dragon was, correct me if I'm wrong, which, I don't know, more time, like, I didn't watch a lot of ROH back then. But every time I did and I saw Bryan, predominantly a heel. So technically, no, he's not the American Dragon because the American Dragon character is predominantly a heel. The Bryan Danielson character. Anyways, I digress. Moot point. Bryan's in the ring. He's showing off his new look. It's basically circa 2011 World Champion Daniel Bryan. Yeah, 2011. And he finally starts doing the yes chant. Well, actually, no. I skipped a spot. The lights go back out. Everybody disappears except for him, the Universal title, and the mallet. So he picks up the mallet, looks at the Universal title. I said, oh, this guy's going to smash the title. And then what happens? He just slams the mallet down on the mat. Okay, cool. He then does the yes chant. Walks up the ramp, does the yes chant again. We got a new Daniel Bryan, ladies and gentlemen. He's a babyface again. He's got a new look. He's doing the yes chant again. All good. Ashton Tyler says American Dragon was a heel. Thought so. Henry McKenna Carvalho says it's 2010 Bryan. I said 2011 World Champion Bryan because he won the title when cashing in Money in the Bank in 2011. I mean, I can look that up really fast, but I'm 99% sure he cashed in Money in the Bank when I was in Iraq in 2011. Daniel Bryan, let's Google this real fast. Daniel Bryan, cash in Money in the Bank. Daniel Bryan cashed in his Money in the Bank at TLC 2011. That's what I thought. Because 2012 is when he was world champion and lost in like 18 seconds at WrestleMania to Sheamus. Anyways, I didn't really enjoy any of that. And the crowd, like I said, basically asleep, except for when the Fiend showed up on the screen. Some people said, let me in. And then when Bryan came out, they did the yes chant. Other than that, they didn't care at all. Another thing they barely cared about, Rusev and Bob Lashley. But before we get to that, I'm going to talk about the sponsor for this video. The sponsor for this video is MyMedic. Everybody bleeds. There isn't a single person who doesn't need first aid now and then. There's no better way to keep yourself, your family, your friends, your coworkers, your enemies, your pets, and anyone else prepared than always having a first aid kit handy. But not just any first aid kit, a jam-packed one with only the best supplies this earth has to offer. Whether you want a first aid kit in your car, your house, your boat, your trailer, for your dog, your range bag, your office, your pocket, MyMedic has got you covered. MyMedic has kits for every situation and for everyone. MyMedic prepares you for those unexpected moments. Order right now with the link in the description below. And not only will you be supporting us here at PW Unlimited, but you will also get 10% off of your next purchase. My Medic has you covered for every situation life throws at you to keep you safe. Again, use the link in the description below to head over to the My Medic website. You will be supporting us here at PW Unlimited if you do so, and you will get 10% off of your purchase. Stay safe this holiday season. So with that, we do have a Rusev versus Bobby Lashley in a tables match. Match is all right. Went way longer than it needed to. Way longer than it had any right to. 13 and a half minutes. Lawler said that he heard the Lana's mugshot was being used as currency in the Nashville jail. Fuck. So, Rusev went for a table early, but Lana pulled it away from the ring. The distraction allowed Lashley to attack and hit a Dominator. Rusev fought back and gave him a vertical suplex on the ramp. Rusev tried to slam through a table, but Lashley tipped the table over, slipping away and drove Rusev into the steel steps. After a few hours, Rusev tried to push Lashley off the apron through a table, but Lashley avoided it. Rusev then hit him with the steel steps, walked all the way up the stage, and grabbed a steel barricade, or steel guardrail. I don't know. What the fuck were you think? Like, we had to sit here and just watch Rusev walk all the way up the ramp and then all the way out. Like, what? Anyways. So he's got this guardrail. He hits, what's it called? He hits, Lashley with the guardrail. And he kind of like leans it up against the ring. Then really, I guess he like drove Lashley through it. Sure. Lashley like almost no-sold it and grabbed a kendo stick, which we had already saw earlier. And then Rusev took the kendo stick and hit Lashley with it a couple times. Lashley then tried to hit him in the head. Rusev grabbed it and attacked him with it. Rusev then superkicked Lashley. Lana jumped on Rusev's back in the ring and raked his eyes. Lana then jumped off, and Lashley tried to drive him through a table set up in the corner. Table didn't break. Corey Graves goes, up, didn't break. And so he gives him an exploder suplex like, immediately through another table already set up in the ring. Rusev goes through the table. The table literally just explodes. Second table to just explode tonight. And Rusev lost. And I honestly don't know where this is going from here. Bobby Lashley and Lana pick up the victory. I think Corey Graves, no, not Corey Graves, wrong commentary team. I think what am I thinking? Jerry Lawler. Sorry, my dyslexia is really hitting me today. I think one thing, but it comes out as something else. I was tweeting like that too, unfortunately. Anyways, so Jerry Lawler at one point said if Bobby Lashley wins, he's going to marry Lana. And I think it was Joe says something, well, they're going to go run off to Vegas, Little Whitechapel. So as we go into the main event, this was 3 straight losses by babyfaces. 2 matches that used a lot of kendo sticks. Meh. Street Profits were in the back. And then all of a sudden, a brawl breaks out. We see Reigns fighting Corbin. We then see The New Day, Chad Gable, Buddy Murphy, Dolph Ziggler, The Revival. And then finally Street Profits join in. And they're all just brawling for brawling's sake. What? I can maybe understand Reigns and Corbin. But even at the same time, what were they fighting over? Reigns, you lost. Would Reigns lose and get mad and still go after Corbin? That's a heel thing to do. I didn't like this, and I didn't like the way that this also ended the show. We then got another official announcement that Randy Orton will be facing AJ Styles, not tonight, but tomorrow on Monday Night Raw. And then we move into a phenomenal main event. I loved this match. It was a TLC match with the women's tag team titles on the line. Asuka and Kairi Sane of the Kabuki Warriors defending against the Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. I thought this match was great. So early on, Charlotte and Becky took turns chucking Sane on the announce table. Asuka saved her friend by launching a chair into each woman. Sane then drop kicked a chair into Charlotte's face. Lynch dropped Asuka face first into the underside of a chair, then onto a ladder. Charlotte and Lynch then drove Asuka into the post. Sane tried to chuck a chair into the ring. So, actually, I can't just gloss over this. Becky and Charlotte are in the ring setting up a ladder. And I'm thinking, okay, Kairi, you're at ringside. Stop them. But no, she grabs a chair out from under the ring, and I go, oh, okay. She's going to slide in and hit one of them with a chair. No. Kairi Sane literally goes to throw a chair into the ring. The chair, I guess she was trying to throw it over the top rope, but the chair hits the top rope instead, comes back and hits herself. She hits herself with the chair, and I think it was Joe goes, ooh, I think that got her in the lip. She wasn't bleeding or anything that I noticed, so thank God. Kairi Sane then gets pissed off, grabs a couple more chairs, and she's like just throwing them. Not over the top rope. She's throwing them so hard that they're just flying through the ropes. Like 2 or 3. Like she got mad. Crowd laughed. Charlotte and Lynch then went after her as she tried to hide under the ring. They yanked her out. Sane reemerged with a fire extinguisher and blasted it in their face. Good little reveal spot here. Asuka then comes out of nowhere with a bull rope and just starts going ham. Lynch gets slammed on a ladder, and then they use the rope to tie her up. Robert Channel says she had a concussion. Do you know that for sure? We don't want to speculate. Concussions are nothing to speculate about unless you know. So I'm not even going to. I almost feel like I shouldn't have read that. So Becky gets basically tied to the ladder. She can't move. They then go and attack Charlotte. They toss her over the barricade. They waved goodbye, and they took their time trying to climb up the ladder in the ring. Then Charlotte jumped in with a kendo stick and attacked them. Charlotte tossed Asuka into a few chairs, then suplexed Sane into the barricade. Sane seemed to take a pretty bad bump here. Kristen, I know that she's being, I was told that she was being, Kairi Sane that is, attended to after the match, but I don't want to speculate concussion if we don't know, because concussion is a serious thing. But I was told that she was being evaluated. I do know that. Where were we? Kairi Sane took a bad bump from Charlotte. Charlotte then tried to untie Becky from the ladder. Asuka then literally as fast as she can runs at Charlotte and as hard as she can hits her in the back with a chair, and Charlotte yells at the top of her lungs, "Ah, fuck!" And they have to mute her. So, to me, that makes me think that Asuka laid that chair shot in hard. Robert Chanos, I basically just said this. He said, look at Brian Alvarez's Twitter. Brian Alvarez tweeted out, Kairi being medically checked out right now may not have an actual diagnosis until the pre-Raw checkup. That's exactly what I said, bro. I said that I was also told that she was being checked on backstage, but I did not want to speculate concussion if we don't know that it's a concussion or a possible concussion. Alvarez didn't even say concussion. All Alvarez stated was, hey, she's being checked out. We may not know anything till tomorrow. Nobody said concussion, so please don't speculate that, because that is a serious matter if she does have a concussion. Because it could basically cause her to miss a lot of time, or a little time, depending on the severity of it. But again, nobody has said, I basically said the same thing. I know that she's being checked on, which I was going to mention after the fact that we talk about the match. But anyways, I digress. Charlotte screams, "Oh, fuck," because Asuka literally just lays in that chair shot as hard as she could. Finally, Charlotte does untie her. Sane tried an elbow, but Lynch got her knees up. Lynch also managed to kick Asuka, then broke free from the ropes because, Charlotte loosened it. Lynch put Asuka through a table with a diving leg drop. Lynch and Charlotte then tried to put Sane through a table, but she countered and dropped them both with a double DDT. Sane picked them both up and put them on a table, then attempted to splash, but Charlotte moved and Sane landed on Lynch. Table didn't break, though. They followed this up with another messy sequence where Charlotte tried to spear Sane, but she screwed it up a little. Charlotte seemed to say, "Enough with this shit." Like she was getting frustrated. And then grabbed Sane and powerbombed her through a table. Struggle there. A little bit of a struggle. Asuka then gave Charlotte Flair a German suplex and dumped her on dumped a table on Lynch. Charlotte and Lynch fought back with chairs. The crowd was booing for some reason. I don't know why. Charlotte then went to the top like she was going to hit a moonsault, but then Asuka instead powerbombs her basically off the middle rope, through a table on the outside. Charlotte takes this bump. Her head bashes, crashes, bounces off the floor immediately. Like, you couldn't have more immediate than this. Charlotte goes through the table and her hands are holding the back of her head. Referee's right there on her, like, quick. Like, I don't know. I haven't heard any updates on Charlotte. I only heard that Kairi Sane was being checked on. I don't know about Charlotte, but when Charlotte took that bump through the table to the outside and she grabbed the back of her head and was like rolling around like she was in pain. Oh, sorry about that. Punched my microphone. Then at one point there was a set of ladders, a bunch of ladders just set up kind of like laying on their side. And Asuka kept getting thrown into them by Becky Lynch. Eventually, we go back into the ring. Lynch climbs up the ladder and almost grabs the belt before Asuka yanked her down off the ladder, hit her with a bull rope. Lynch then fell out of the ring. Asuka climbs up the ladder, grabs the belts, and literally, I'm not joking here. Asuka grabs the belts, pulls them off the carabiner, the clip, whatever you want to call it. You don't even see her celebrate. She doesn't even fully pull them down. Yeah, I don't even know if I heard Mike Rome say, "And you're winners," before the cameras cut and all them goons that were fighting earlier are fighting again, but this spills out into the crowd. So we've got the OC, we've got the Viking Raiders, we've got Roman, we've got Corbin, we've got all these people brawling. Why? I don't fucking know. And then at one point, Corbin and Reigns are like up on this little ledge, and Reigns spears Corbin off onto a pile of bodies below. And then the show just cuts. It's over. No, see you tomorrow on Raw. No, that was TLC. No, thank you for joining us. It just... Welcome everybody to the Steve Austin Broken Skull Sessions. Like, that's your way of going off the air? Big old brawl of nothing? I would get it if it was a big old brawl to lead to something, but lead to what? All these guys are going to brawl. Think, okay, here's your thought process here. You do this big old brawl to lead to a bunch of blow-off matches at the next pay-per-view. Because what's the next pay-per-view? It's the Royal Rumble. We ain't going to get no blow-off matches when all these motherfuckers are just going to be in the Royal Rumble. So, yeah. You do these brawls to lead to nothing. Well, you got to pay them off on TV? I mean, maybe, but meh. Whatever. I don't know. I like the main event. Yes, it was sloppy at times, Wrestling Gab. I will agree. Charlotte seemed very frustrated throughout most of that match. But that end just killed everything. Asuka and Kairi didn't get to celebrate. Like I said, I don't even think I heard Mike Rome say, "And you're winners." And still. And for what it's worth, I'm not there, so I can't say this 100%. But I would think that little brawl at the end, at least quarter, if not half the crowd probably didn't even realize or see it. But we'll see. Now, with that, we got some text messages, and I also want to hear from you guys. If you do want to text into the show, you can do so at 510-906-1341. You can also use that same phone number to call in and let us know what you thought of tonight's TLC pay-per-view. Got a couple questions here in the live chat. This person here says, Wayne Montgomery says, with the ending of the show was like they did Monday Night Raw. I don't fully understand your question or comment there. They didn't end last week's Raw with a brawl, did they? I don't think so. Because it says, do you think Liv Morgan will be Emelina 2.0? I goddamn hope not. And I don't think so either. I honestly don't think so. This text message here says, I think the women's tag title match was super slow towards the end. What do you think? I mean, no. I don't think it was slow because you had Charlotte getting powerbombed off the middle rope through the table. You had Asuka then getting exploder suplexed into a bunch of ladders. Becky gets pulled off and beat down with the rope. No, I didn't think it was slow. I liked it. Let's take this call, though. Caller on the air, what's going on? Caller on the air, what's going on? No, never mind. He was there and then he wasn't. Let's read another text message. If you do want to call into the show, you can do so at 510-906-1341. Again, the number is, I did it wrong. The number is 510-906-1341. Also, if you do want to get your questions read specifically here during this show, you can do so by sending a super chat donation or a super sticker donation. Just hit that money sign down there by where you type in the live chat to send a super chat, as so many of you have before. Let's try this phone call. Hopefully this person... Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, Tim.
How's it going?
Good. I got a couple questions.
Go for it.
With that brawl that you said and they ended on the air, can you see that like being some match on SmackDown, like a tag match or something?
No, because it was more than just SmackDown guys.
It was Raw too.
Yeah, because I know Street Profits were involved. Viking Raiders and the OC were out there. So it was more than just SmackDown guys. Like, I kind of get what they're trying to get at with it is all these guys are just brawling and fighting. This is some of the same stuff you might see in the Royal Rumble, but I just didn't like it.
And do you think Joe could be in the Rumble if do you know when he's going to be cleared?
Say that again. You kind of a little cut out there.
Samoa Joe.
So what I've heard is Samoa Joe was supposed to be cleared early December, late November. I mean, good sign is he's not wearing the cast anymore. He took that off about 2 weeks ago. So that's a good sign. Vince loves him on commentary, unfortunately. And I'm saying that because if Vince loves you doing one thing, he might keep you on that as long as he can. So I don't know Joe's status as of right now. I know he was supposed to be cleared by now. And we'll see. I honestly hope he gets into the Royal Rumble, but I think Vince likes him too much on commentary.
I think he's good commentary too, but it'd be nice if he can come back.
Exactly, I agree.
And last question for you. Could you see Buddy Murphy and Black being a tag team or no?
I mean, it would work, but I even with the Ricochet stuff, I don't see Black working as a tag team guy. Even when he was doing great tag team matches with Ricochet, it was always kind of coming off weird to me seeing him in a tag team. So I can't see Black in a tag team, no matter who's the partner.
All right, well, next time I guess I'll go later.
All right, thanks for the call and have a great night.
Yeah, bye.
Henry Cavallo says, Joe has gotten hurt so many times ever since coming to the main roster. I mean, not more times than Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks always stay hurt. I'm going to get the Sasha stands after me now. This text message here. Dust State, do you think Bray Wyatt versus The Fiend will extend to Mania? No. I think it'll go to Rumble and probably not go farther than that. This person here says the finish to the Raw Tag Title match was a bunch of a BS, in my opinion. I mean, it basically made both teams continue looking strong. Colleague on the air, what's going on? Oh, never mind. Another one that answered, cut right out. Let's read this text message. If you do want to call in, you can do so at 510-906-1341. This person says, what did say that he taught him... What? Wyatt did say that he taught himself not to feel pain on SmackDown. He did. But that's the Fiend's thing. I get that he said that. And he shouldn't have... I ranted enough about this. But my thing is, you got these two different characters in Bray Wyatt and The Fiend. But then when you get Bray in the ring, he's just The Fiend, no mask. I get that he said, I trained myself not to feel pain. Okay. But you should still feel some, because you're a human being. Let's take a call, though. I digress. Caller on the air, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, bro?
How's it going?
To be honest, I thought the pay-per-view was, awesome. I mean, the TL, we had another main event, and that was the shit, hit 2 years in a row. And it did hit out its lows. Plus, for some reason, I don't know why they had that KFC table out there for the Raw Tag Title match. And it was dumb anyway. Anyways,
you got a question, bud?
Yeah, to be honest, the question is this: What do you think this whole clusterfuck of storylines between Rusev, Lana, and Lashley will be over? Because the fans are tired of it.
Well, I want to say thank you for the call and have a great night. I think it's probably over now. You do the one match. Lashley won. They go on their own merry way. I mean, I don't see Rusev coming back tomorrow on Raw and being like, oh, Bob Lashley, Lana, you beat me. I need revenge. I don't see it happening. I really don't. Let's take another call, though. Calling on the air, what's going on?
Hey, Tim, what's going on, big man? It's JD.
Not much. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good tonight. Hey, man, I would probably rank the show maybe a 5.5, maybe a 6 out of 10.
Ooh.
Yeah, where would you rank this?
I would go 6.5 because I would almost go 7 because I really liked the Aleister Black match. I liked the kickoff show match. I liked the SmackDown Tag Title match, but I really did not like the match with the Fiend or Bray Wyatt and The Miz and the Corbin Reigns match so much that I'd go 6.5 because of it. Because those matches were just so nothing to me.
And you got War Raiders and OC, and OC, the Good Brothers. Those are my boys, but it's like I was kind of hoping to see somebody else tonight, maybe a 3-way tag team match or something along that line.
Right.
Like you said in your show, it kind of dragged on in the middle.
Immensely.
It kind of put me out of it. And, with Bobby Lashley winning over Rusev, and now we're just going to keep this shitty-ass storyline on. And,
I hope not.
I understand. It's going to keep going on because WWE looks at the YouTube ratings because apparently they're the highest ratings
every
or
week,
the highest viewing.
So
that drives me nuts.
Here's the interesting thing. Let me tell you this. So every week, when you look at the TV ratings for Monday Night Raw, typically the Rusev, Bobby Lashley, Lana segments do okay to whatever as far as ratings go for that segment. But for some reason, people don't like to watch them live, but they like to watch them later because since this storyline started, they have been the #1 viewed highlight for Raw every single week on YouTube.
Yep. Well, that's why it's going to keep going on, because it's relatable to, how do I say this, to people who like drama in their life. And this is drama. And, you know, I'm a drama-free man. I'm a simple man. And, you know, there's a lot of people that don't like it. That's why they tune off from it, or they change the channel because their kids shouldn't be watching this because they don't want to see their parents breaking up. And, you know, I've shot a message here and there. It's just like, all right, well then why don't you ask Bobby Lashley and his wife and their kids what they think about this, you know, storyline that they're doing, because, you know, Bobby Lashley has a wife, Bobby Lashley has kids.
Right.
And, you know, we all know that Rusev and Lana are, you know, are married. They're not divorced, and we get the storyline. We understand the storyline, but it's WWE drama that's getting those high ratings. That's why I think the storyline is unfortunately going to keep going on. And I hate seeing it, because I was watching it on Monday, and, you know, they were the first thing on Monday. They did a 15-20 minute promo, and about 10 minutes, 15 minutes into it, I turned it off and went to Monday night. I hate to say this, Monday Night Football, man. You know,
yeah.
I heard Eli Manning was back, and I wanted to watch that. And, you know, normally I don't do that because I, you know, very seldom get a chance to watch it or to listen to it. And it was just like, oh, come on, guys, really? And that's why I would give it a 5.5 or out of 6, because the middle of the show literally there was no storyline.
True.
And like the end of the show, there was no storyline to have everybody come out at the end and brawl. Where's the storyline in that? It keeps happening over and over. Where do they go from this? Where do they go from that brawl at the end?
Because
Nowhere.
like I said, the only thing I can think of is we're supposed to see this big brawl with a bunch of guys fighting at once, and then we're supposed to say, oh, we can see that even bigger in the Royal Rumble. But nobody said that. That's the only thing that I thought of that brawl could relate to going into the next pay-per-view is, oh, well, we'll see a bunch of big brawls, I guess you could call it, inside the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, but they're not all going to be in the ring at the same time.
True.
How many competitors at the end, they're not going to be in the Royal Rumble at the same time. So we're going to see these little mini brawls that are going to supposedly take place. But it's like, you know, the storylines, it's like they got to do a little bit better.
Well, and that's it right there. You said it. You said storyline. There was no storyline to this. It was just Vince came up with an idea and said, we need a brawl at the end of the show. We can't end the way with just a match. We need a brawl.
So they do this brawl every other week on Monday night or on Friday night. It's like, why keep doing the same thing where it does not lead anywhere, is what I'm getting at. It's just like the main event. The main event was awesome.
Yeah,
I would probably say either the main event or Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy. I think that was probably either or the match of the night between the two of them.
I agree.
But then you end the show with another brawl that we've seen every other week. That's where I would probably. Because I was going into the Bobby Lashley, and I was going into the main event as like a 6.5, going up to 7. But then the brawl happened, and I'm like, God damn, you guys are doing so good, even though the middle of the card was kind of and it drew a point down or drew a half point down, and then you go into this great main event. It was a great main event, great spots. Yeah, a couple of botches here and there, and yeah, I think Kairi Sane, I think she was a little bit off. I think something might have happened.
Yeah, I think when she got hit in the face with the chair, but again, I don't want to speculate because I don't know other than she was evaluated.
Right, I don't want to either, but you could tell there was something off.
Right.
And you could tell that Charlotte was getting frustrated because when she yelled, "Oh fuck." And
that was when she got hit.
later.
That was when she got hit really hard with the chair. Later, when she was trying to do a spot with Kyrie, she said, I believe I heard her say something like, I've had enough of this shit or something like that.
Yeah, and she power bombed the shit out of Asuka through that table. It looked like she was a little frustrated at that point.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, that's probably the reason why I would rate it as low as, a 5.5 to 6. That's the reason why I gave it that rating.
I wouldn't disagree. I'd go a little bit. I'd go a 6.5, but to each their own. It's our own. Each person's different opinion.
Hell yeah. And, hey, I do want to ask you another question. I was kind of thrown off last night. I was able to watch Into the Fire with NWA, and I saw, and that entire show was awesome.
Yeah.
Surprise of ODB, the Melina, the way she sold some of the things, the Rock and Roll Express winning the tag team belts again, the main event, the 2 out of 3 with James Storm, man, that was a great match. And then the very end with Marty Scurll coming out at the end. I was completely surprised by that.
Everybody
thought he was going to, I thought he was going to WWE. And I know the backstory, with Marty and his boy. I was taken back. My question to you is, would you be able to find out if Marty Scurll signed a deal with NWA, and if it's a legit contract, or if it was like a handshake contract where I'm going to hang out for a couple months, help you guys out kind of thing?
So here's what I've been able to find out. And it's not much because nobody really knows anything. All that I know right now is that Marty Scurll's got options. And this may only be something till their next pay-per-view on January 24th. From what I've heard, that they're doing TV tapings. They did tapings tonight, and they're doing tapings tomorrow. Unfortunately, Marty Scurll couldn't be there tonight because he had to do the Ring of Honor show. So maybe he shows up tomorrow to do the second half of the tapings, and then the pay-per-view in January. As far as I've heard.
So he did do the show. Okay.
So he did the Ring of Honor show in a big way. Actually, in a kind of a big way. Because, Marty Scurll is part of Villain. Well, he runs, quote unquote, his stable, Villain Enterprises. It's Marty Scurll, the Ring of Honor World Champion, PCO, Brody King, and Flip Gordon.
Heavyweight. Hell yeah.
Now, Rush, the former heavyweight champion, has started his own group in Ring of Honor, Los Ingobernables, with himself, his brother Dragon Lee, and Kenny King. And now, from what they showed tonight at the Ring of Honor show, they are starting a feud between Villain Enterprises and Los Ingobernables. So it looks like Marty ain't going anywhere right now from Ring of Honor.
So Dragon Lee is still, I thought he was still with New Japan.
Well, Dragon Lee signed a 1-year deal with New Japan. New Japan has a working agreement with Ring of Honor. Talent go back and forth. We see Jeff Cobb do it all the time.
No, I truly get that. I understand that. I thought New Japan wasn't happy with all the stuff that ROH has been doing lately.
No, they're still using talent back and forth.
Okay, all right. Well, I heard about Los Ingobernables, and they also had a faction down in Mexico where it originally started.
Right. They started.
And then
it's weird because they did the ROH version tonight, but last night with different people, Rush started a AAA version, which is weird.
Okay, yeah, and I know Naito has his own over in New Japan.
Right.
Okay, well then you just mentioned something about AAA. Sin Cara used his name, his WWE name.
Yeah, he may be in trouble. I don't know much more than he may be in trouble.
Okay, I thought so because I thought that was a WWE thing.
Yeah, because WWE owns the name, and I believe they own the rights to that mask design.
Oh, really? he had the same mask and he had the same name.
Right, because he didn't create that mask. The original Sin Cara in WWE used that mask first, and then the Sin Cara we know from most of the time, Unico, took that role. It became Sin Cara, but for some reason last night wore that mask in AAA.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't this the second or third guy that's worn the mask?
There was 2 Sin Caras in WWE.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, there was Mystico who came in as Sin Cara. He got hurt, and for some reason WWE was like, we want to do really big things with the character, so we'll put somebody else as the character for now, and then do something later, and that's what they did.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like, oh shit. I think Homeboy's about to get some heat and
so
get a little
all I
trouble.
know is he did it and did not have permission from WWE to use the name or the mask.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, that's all I know.
When I saw that, I'm like, that's not going to be good for my boy.
Mm-hmm.
But Tim, I want you to keep us in the loop on what's going on with Marty. Whenever you find something out, let us know, because you're one of the first guys that I go through on wrestling content, not just WWE, all wrestling content. So keep me informed.
I'll let you guys know as soon as I know. There is NWA tapings tomorrow, so he is expected to be there. I can't say 100% he's going to be there, but I could probably say like 80% that I would expect him to be there.
So do you think he's going to re-sign with ROH, with the Villain Empire?
Honestly,
and everything, considering
I have
just won the title.
To be completely honest, I have no clue. The one thing that I could think, I'm not even saying that I know, I could think is he is still part of he holds the 6-man tag team titles. So maybe they're going to have him stick around just long enough to drop those belts, maybe to the guys in Los Ingobernables. Maybe those 3 challenge the Villain Enterprises, beat them for the 6-man tag titles, and then Marty can be done. Because at the end of today's show for ROH, they said, we'll see you next time in 2020. They don't have any more shows set for December 2019. So that's the only thing I can think of, is maybe they do this feud with Los Ingobernables, drop the titles to them, even though they already announced Rush versus PCO in January for a title rematch. But that's the only thing I can think of. He may be sticking around just long enough to drop the tag titles, the 6-man tag titles.
Well, I did also hear that supposedly Marty Scurll is going to be tag teaming in that pay-per-view.
The ROH one, the next ROH one?
Yes. Yep, the next ROH one. That's what I heard. I don't know if that was a true fact because of last night and him popping up in NWA.
Well, I mean, I would assume he's going to work the next ROH pay-per-view. I didn't watch all of the ROH show from tonight because I was watching TLC. I was trying to watch both, so I didn't catch everything that was announced throughout that show. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to watch that. Yeah, I'm going to watch that after, pretty much probably after I get off the phone with you, because I'm still following ROH, not as much as MLW and AEW, but it's just like, oh shit, what Marty and what do you? And I thought it was great. And what kind of angle do you think that they would use Marty at?
As far as
in NWA,
I assume he's gonna at the next pay-per-view challenge Aldis for the belt.
And do you think he's just going to do that just to kind of throw some more eyes on NWA? And
I mean, to be completely honest, maybe him working NWA is just a stopgap till his next future plans. Maybe he's got something that he can't do yet, so he's going to do NWA just to keep himself, in the conversation.
Well,
Think about this. I'm not saying
he's always one of the top guys.
I'm not saying this is
Go
going to
ahead.
happen, but that pay-per-view for NWA is the Friday before the Royal Rumble. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know if that has anything, if maybe you can look more into that, but I'm just saying.
I really hope he doesn't show up in WWE. I'm just saying.
But with that, I want to
just
say
saying.
thank you for the call and have a great night.
Hey, thank you, Tim. You do an awesome job, brother.
Thank you.
JD out, man.
Have a good night. So let's read some more of these text messages before we do wrap things up. This person here says, do you think Sasha Banks will win the Women's Royal Rumble match, or who do you think will win the Women's Rumble match? You know, if I was booking it, I'd say Shayna Baszler wins the Rumble match and then challenges Becky at Mania. That's what I would do. This person says, any predictions or odds for the Rumbles? My predictions would be Kevin Owens and Shayna Baszler. I do know that Roman Reigns and Ronda Rousey are the betting odds favorites as of right now. This person here says, when Sheamus returns, do you think him and Cesaro will team again? Not anytime soon. Cesaro's in a tag team with Shinsuke Nakamura, and the way they're building these vignettes of Sheamus is he's going to be on his own. This text message here says, tomorrow night, Raw going to be live, then tape afterwards. Don't know what you're asking there. Raw's always live for the most part, unless they're overseas. Oh, I think I get what you're asking. Are they taping because next week's Christmas week? I don't know. I can literally look into that right this second. I could tell you right now if that's what you're asking. I believe that's what you're asking. So this week's Raw is in Des Moines, Iowa. And are they running a live show next week? Next week would be the 23rd. Let me see. I'm going to look into that. Let me read another text message while I look into that. I believe they're going to be live again, but another person says, do you think Lana Rusev's storyline will end with Lana going back to Rusev? No. You can't have her go back. After all the stuff that's happened, you have her go back. It was like, why would we do this in the first place? Like, what was the reason for it at all if you just have her go back to Rusev? I mean, maybe a vent. You know, and I can't even say that. I don't even know if you could say that, to be honest. This person here says, do you think Charlotte and Kairi Sane lack in chemistry in the ring? Charlotte always seems more sloppy in the ring with her. Maybe. I mean, in the past, we've always seen, there's wrestlers that have other wrestlers that they're great with. And then there's some wrestlers that they just don't work well with. And maybe Kairi and Charlotte are just that. They just don't work well together. Maybe. I'm not saying that as a fact. I'm just saying from what we've seen before, they just don't seem to work that well together. Or it says, is the Fiend done and are we getting Bray Wyatt? No. This was just a stopgap thing. Just to try something different, show us something different. We'll get Fiend versus Daniel Bryan probably at Royal Rumble. Just looking here. Got this one last text message before we do wrap everything up. The person says, why were there rumors? Okay, why were there rumors of John Cena possibly being at TLC? So John Cena, since he debuted with the WWE, has not had a year where he did not have at least one pay-per-view match. So John Cena took to Instagram. I'm going to pull it up now so I can read it verbatim, because I thought people were idiots for reporting John Cena teases a possible appearance at TLC. Idiots. I'm going to say it right now. John Cena posted a photo that said, keep calm and keep the streak going. Posted that this morning. So everyone thought, oh, John Cena's going to keep his pay-per-view streak going. One match a year at least at pay-per-view. No. He was never going to show up here tonight. John Cena loves to troll people, and this was just another one. But with that, I can't find out about Raw in 2 weeks. Actually, hold on. Oh, we may have something here. Nope. Even WWE's events page does not want to work properly. Wait, oh, nope, we may have it. WWE, the 23rd. You know what? WWE does not have a Monday Night Raw listed on their website for next week, the 23rd. But they do have a SmackDown for the 27th. So, I don't know. I'm going to look into that, guys, and if I do find anything out about tomorrow night's Raw and whether they're going to do double taping or something, I will let you guys know. But with that, I think that's going to do it for tonight's TLC review. I do want to say thank you to everybody who did join me here live to talk about TLC and everybody who listened later right here on YouTube or listened later on podcast services all around the world like iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and so many more. We'll be live again tomorrow night following Monday Night Raw. Have a good night, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.